Did you know that within just seconds of meeting someone, a man's brain has already made a series of subconscious judgments based solely on a few key visual cues, and it's not just surface-level attraction. According to Carl Jung, these impulses are hardwired into the male psyche, deeply rooted in ancient archetypes and the forces of evolutionary biology. So which body parts do men instinctively notice first, and more importantly, why the answers might surprise you? Carl Jung, the renowned psychologist, believed that human attraction is shaped by far more than personal taste. Beneath our conscious awareness lies a hidden network of primal patterns, what Jung called archetypes, that guide our attention and desires. For men, these instincts often lock onto specific physical features that communicate health, fertility, and even the potential for emotional connection. But this isn't just about biology. It's about the silent language of the unconscious. Today, we're exploring the 5 body parts men instinctively notice first in women through the lens of Jung's archetypes and backed by modern science. Some of these may seem obvious. Others reveal just how profoundly our psychological programming runs. So stay with us, because by the end, you may never look at attraction the same way again. 1. Introduction to Jung and the collective unconscious. Carl Jung's groundbreaking work introduced the concept of the collective unconscious, a deep, shared layer of the human psyche. This realm holds universal patterns and imagery, known as archetypes, that influence all people regardless of culture or upbringing. Unlike personal memories that shape individual preferences, the collective unconscious guides human perception at a level that transcends experience. And when it comes to attraction, these archetypes are incredibly influential. Take Thema, for example, the feminine ideal embedded in a man's unconscious, or the mother archetype, symbolizing nurturance and fertility. These inner images shape what men are instinctively drawn to in women. They're not merely learned preferences. They're ancient, automatic responses etched into the unconscious and guiding desire without any conscious effort. Jung believed these unconscious forces did more than dictate what we find attractive. They reveal deeper truths about how we connect to others. They reflect how we project our inner ideals onto those we encounter. Evolutionary psychology builds upon this idea, examining how survival and reproduction have refined these instincts over millennia. From a biological perspective, men are subconsciously programmed to seek traits that suggest fertility, health, and strong genetics. These were the characteristics that, in early human environments, would have improved the likelihood of raising healthy offspring. Importantly, this process isn't about rational choice. It's more of a reflex, an automatic response developed through natural selection. Cross-cultural studies have confirmed this consistency. Men, regardless of region or upbringing, tend to focus on certain physical markers. With clear skin, symmetrical facial features, and specific body proportions consistently rise to the top. That's because these traits historically signaled vitality, youth, and reproductive viability. Even in our modern world where survival no longer hinges on mate selection, these instinctual preferences haven't faded. They remain deeply embedded in the brain's reward circuits. So the body parts men notice first aren't random. They operate as biological signals of compatibility and genetic fitness. For instance, clear, even skin tone often signals strong immune health and hormonal balance. A well-proportioned waist-to-hip ratio correlates with fertility and reduced health risks. Full, defined lips and glossy, vibrant hair reflect estrogen levels and youthfulness. And expressive, wide-set eyes communicate emotional availability, a crucial ingredient in long-term bonding. Jung's archetypes mirror these biological indicators, showing that attraction is not just rooted in science, it's equally mythic. Figures like the maiden, the mother, and the lover recurring across dreams, stories, and mythology embody many of the traits that men instinctively seek. In this way, evolutionary biology and Jungian psychology converge. They reveal that what catches a man's eye isn't simply about preference. It's the echo of ancient, unspoken needs that still whisper through the unconscious mind. The mother and the lover recurring archetypes found across folklore and dreams mirror the very real traits that men are instinctively drawn to. In this way, the insights of evolutionary biology and Jungian psychology come together, revealing that what captures a man's attention isn't just about preference. It's the echo of ancient, unspoken needs passed down through time. This interaction between instinct and cultural conditioning explains why certain standards of beauty endure across centuries and civilizations. While fashion and media may steer trends, the underlying archetypes remain unshaken because they stem from something far deeper than societal norms. Even as modern relationships shift away from survival-based partnerships, these primal signals continue to shape first impressions often before a single word is exchanged. Understanding this doesn't just unravel the mystery of attraction. It shines a light on how human behavior is shaped by forces older than civilization itself. Whether you see it through Jung's mystical lens or the hard logic of evolutionary science, the conclusion remains the same. Attraction is a language once spoken through biology and whispered by the unconscious mind. 2. The 5 physical features men notice. First, number 1, the eyes. Long referred to as the windows to the soul, and with good reason. They are one of the most powerful focal points in all of human attraction. Carl Jung believed the eyes served as direct conduits to the unconscious, revealing truths far deeper than words could express. When a man instinctively locks onto a woman's gaze, he's not just admiring her beauty. His subconscious is scanning for emotional depth, compatibility, and trustworthiness. Research in evolutionary psychology supports this, showing that extended eye contact triggers oxytocin, the bonding hormone helping to build emotional connection and intimacy. The size and expressiveness of the eyes play a role too. Larger, more open eyes are evolutionarily associated with youth and what scientists call neo-teeny traits that indicate fertility and emotional warmth. Jung's concept of thema, the internal feminine ideal, may also manifest through the eyes. Their vulnerability, mystery, and emotional depth resonate deeply with the archetypal feminine. Whether it's a passing glance or a prolonged stare, the eyes communicate what our conscious mind might not even realize. That's why they are often the very first and most revealing feature men are drawn to. Number 2, the lips. Few features carry such rich symbolic meaning. They're a universal emblem of sensuality, vitality, and connection. According to Jung's theory of anima and animus, the lips, as tools of speech and intimacy, serve as a bridge between the conscious and unconscious. Full, well-shaped lips are not merely a modern beauty ideal. They've long been indicators of health and high estrogen levels, key biological cues for reproductive viability. From a biological standpoint, lips become subtly fuller during ovulation, serving as an unconscious cue of fertility. Beyond biology, lips also function in communication, both verbal and nonverbal, aligning with Jung's vision of the feminine principle. Expressive, nurturing, and emotionally in tune. The contrast between lip color and skin tone, enhanced by natural flush or makeup like lipstick, draws subconscious attention. This makes them a focal point for instant emotional and physical evaluation, whether through a soft smile, a whispered phrase, or a kiss. Lips communicate on a level beyond words. That's why they hold such a powerful place in the psychology of attraction. Number 3, hair. In Jungian symbolism, hair stands for far more than beauty. It represents vitality, identity, and even spiritual energy. Across cultures and mythologies, flowing, well-kept hair has long been a symbol of feminine power and life force. Think of fairy tale figures like Rapunzel, or goddesses crowned with cascading locks. From a biological perspective, hair health reveals nutritional status and hormonal balance. Shiny, thick hair signals youth and wellness. Brittle or thinning hair, on the other hand, can indicate illness or chronic stress. Men's subconscious preference for long, healthy hair likely stems from its connection to peak fertility, since hair is most radiant during a woman's reproductive prime. Through Jung's lens, this attraction reflects the Great Mother archetype. Hair becomes a symbol of both nurturing protection and wild, untamed energy. Cultural rituals like braiding, styling, or dyeing further echo this symbolism. They reinforce that hair's appeal isn't just skin deep, it's deeply woven into our collective psyche. Number 4, the waist-to-hip ratio, known in research circles as WHR. This is one of the most scrutinized metrics in evolutionary psychology, and for good reason. Across countless cultures, men consistently find themselves drawn to a WHR around 0. 7, where the waist is visibly narrower than the hips. This preference isn't random, it's deeply ingrained, pointing to hardwired instincts. A low WHR is linked to optimal estrogen levels, ideal fat storage for childbearing, and a reduced risk of chronic diseases. Jung's mother archetype fits perfectly here, embodying nourishment, fertility, and the life-giving essence of femininity. From ancient Venus figurines to contemporary imagery, this shape has endured as a symbol of fertility and vitality. Even when beauty ideals have shifted from full-bodied Renaissance women to waifish modern icons, the WHR remained a constant beneath the surface. This reveals something vital. While fashion may dictate what's temporarily in vogue, the subconscious mind still responds to proportions that signal reproductive health. Number 5, skin. Perhaps more than any other feature. Skin serves as a universal canvas reflecting health, youth, and genetic integrity. Smooth, unblemished skin is linked biologically to a strong immune system, balanced hormones, and high fertility. Jung's self-archetype, symbolizing wholeness and integration, can be seen reflected in clear, radiant skin. It becomes a metaphor for harmony between the inner and outer self. And unlike makeup or hair, skin quality is hard to fake. That's why it serves as such an honest signal in mate selection. Cultural beauty routines. From exfoliation to tanning, aim to replicate signs of youth like collagen glow or enhanced circulation. Even subtle traits like skin symmetry and evenness can affect perception. They offer cues of developmental health and stable genetics. In this light, skin is far more than aesthetic. It becomes a potent messenger signaling psychological and biological wholeness at a glance. 3. Archetypes, instinct, and the unconscious mind. Together, these 5 physical traits form a quiet language of attraction, one where biology and symbolism intertwine. They reveal how Jung's archetypes and evolutionary forces merge to shape what we find desirable, often before we ever realize it. Understanding this internal dialogue doesn't just explain attraction. It deepens our awareness of the profound connection between body, mind, and our shared human journey. While evolutionary science and Jungian psychology uncover broad patterns, human desire is anything but one-size-fits-all. It's shaped just as powerfully by personal experience, often in ways even Jung himself sought to explore, like through the hidden influence of the shadow. The repressed, unconscious dimensions of our psyche can powerfully influence what we find attractive. For example, a man raised by an emotionally distant mother may unconsciously gravitate toward women with warm, expressive eyes that offer the emotional nurturing he never received. Conversely, someone with unresolved trauma might find comfort in traits that feel familiar, even if those characteristics don't align with conventional standards of beauty. In the same way, a man's inner feminine image is not fixed. It evolves over time, shaped by relationships, experiences, and cultural exposure. A childhood spent around strong, assertive women may foster attraction to bold, commanding features. Meanwhile, being immersed in ethereal, delicate imagery through art or media may incline someone toward more gentle, graceful beauty. These psychological currents help explain why two men might look at the same woman and experience completely different reactions, one seeing undeniable allure, the other feeling nothing. All of it shaped by the invisible forces of personal history. 4. The cultural layer of attraction. Cultural influences add yet another layer of complexity to the tapestry of attraction. Even though evolutionary pressures may steer us toward universal traits, beauty standards shift dramatically across time and place. Take the waist-to-hip ratio. Though a 0.7 ratio is often preferred across cultures, some societies have historically valued fuller figures as signs of prosperity and health, like the voluptuous bodies praised in Renaissance art. Other cultures have idealized slimness as a symbol of refinement and self-discipline. Modern globalization has both unified and diversified these standards. Social media, for example, might idolize narrow, symmetrical Instagram faces one day, only to shift its focus to fuller lips and curvier forms the next. Yet beneath all these fluctuating trends, the archetypal pull remains constant. The current obsession with plump lips and smooth skin doesn't contradict evolutionary logic. It actually reinforces it. Only now, it's refracted through modern tools like filters and cosmetic enhancements that amplify biologically appealing traits. Even subcultures that aim to reject mainstream beauty ideals often adopt their own symbolic features. Consider the punk movement, which used rebellious hairstyles and fashion not to erase vitality and identity, but to express them through defiance instead of conformity. 5. Instinct versus influence, and the freedom that comes with awareness. This ongoing tension between hardwired instinct and cultural messaging raises a compelling question. Can media truly override deep-seated biological preferences, or does it merely repackage them? Research leans toward the latter. Exposure to a range of beauty norms can certainly expand what people find acceptable or attractive, but underlying evolutionary drives continue to operate beneath the surface. For instance, even when slim or athletic body types dominate popular media, eye-tracking studies show men's attention still gravitates toward classic waist-to-hip ratios. Jung might interpret this as the collective unconscious resisting erasure by fleeting trends. Still, we shouldn't underestimate the power of culture. It can elevate certain traits, like pale skin in some Asian cultures, historically tied to wealth and status. Or it can stigmatize natural features, like the portrayal of body hair in Western media. This interplay between instinct and social influence creates a rich and ever-shifting landscape of attraction, one that is neither purely innate nor entirely learned, but negotiated in the space between the primal and the personal. Recognizing these variations doesn't reduce the importance of biology or Jungian archetypes. Instead, it shows just how resilient and paradoxically flexible human desire can be. Attraction isn't simply about what we see. It's a dance of multi-layered interplay of unconscious signals, biological programming, and psychological projections. And recognizing that can be liberating. When you understand that attraction is built on multiple dimensions, evolutionary instincts, and deeply personal archetypes, you begin to realize that beauty standards aren't fixed. They're fluid expressions of something far deeper. That awareness frees you from the trap of constant comparison. Instead of chasing a mythical ideal, you begin to focus on developing your own unique presence. After all, true confidence doesn't come from mimicking an external image. It comes from aligning with the natural signals your body and character already emit. When you move through the world with self-assurance, you amplify the very qualities that subconsciously attract others, not through artifice, but through authenticity. This kind of insight can also transform your approach to connection. Understanding the subconscious dynamics at play reveals that attraction is rarely a conscious decision. It's a response that happens beneath awareness. That realization removes the pressure to perform or force a particular impression. Instead, you can center your attention on creating sincere and resonant connections. Eye contact becomes more than politeness. It becomes a channel for emotional resonance. The way you move, how you sit, the energy you carry, these all transmit vitality and openness. Even small things, like a genuine smile or being fully present in a conversation, tap into the deep archetypes Jung spoke of: warmth, nurturance, connection, and perhaps most important of all, this mindset transforms attraction from something passive, something that just happens, into something you can engage in consciously. When you recognize the biological and psychological foundations of human connection, you stop interpreting rejection as a personal flaw. You start seeing it as a simple mismatch of unconscious preferences. This builds resilience and emotional steadiness. It allows you to meet others with curiosity rather than anxiety or need. You come to understand a powerful truth. While you may never fully control how others perceive you, you do have the power to cultivate authenticity, presence, and emotional openness, qualities that speak to the core of human longing. In the end, the science and psychology of attraction point us toward one profound realization. The most magnetic quality any person can possess is self-possession. When you stop chasing ever-shifting trends and settle into true comfort within your own skin, you naturally radiate the unconscious signals we are all wired to respond to, not by strategy or manipulation, but by attuning to the ancient rhythm of human connection, where biology meets psychology, where instinct dances with emotion. Whether in romance, friendship, or professional life, this awareness becomes a powerful force. It helps you build relationships that are not only instinctive, but intentional, satisfying the deepest human desire for recognition and belonging. What makes attraction so endlessly fascinating is that it lives in that mysterious space between science and soul, where the primal meets the personal, and where the body and spirit meet eye to eye. The sensual expression of lips, the radiant vitality shining from hair, the primal cue hidden in the waist-to-hip ratio, and the unmistakable health revealed through the skin. Each of these features speaks a silent language, a language shaped by Carl Jung's archetypes and refined over thousands of years through evolutionary design. Yet, as we've explored, attraction is never simply about physical traits. It's about the unconscious narratives those traits awaken. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 5 features do you believe holds the most sway when it comes to first impressions? Is it the eyes, the timeless windows to the soul, or perhaps the lips, whose allure has captivated poets and artists for centuries? Do you believe the subconscious arithmetic of the waist-to-hip ratio is impossible to ignore? Or is it glowing, healthy skin that reveals the most truth at a glance? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's open up the conversation, dive deeper, and explore the many layers of this fascinating subject together. If you found this journey through the psychology of attraction insightful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. We'll continue to uncover the hidden forces that shape our relationships, our desires, and the very way we connect. And remember to hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment of revelation. Thanks for watching. And never forget, the most magnetic thing you can ever wear is your authenticity. See you in the next video.